Hi everyone, welcome back to the second episode of the tutorial for my lapbook for Crispy Crab. So this is a very simple rose lapbook with little pockets and stuff. I have made a video flip through for everyone to watch as well. Don't hesitate to see it, and don't forget to give a thumbs up to this video if you've liked it. If you've used it, don't hesitate to leave any comments. Show me what you've done. I would love to see it if you've used this tutorial to do something similar. It's always really nice to see what you guys have made using my tutorials. So what we're doing now is very simply, we're just gonna sew the parts that we made in the previous video. So that's the flaps and the pockets. I'm just gonna sew everything that we've talked about in the previous video. It's really hard to get a nice frame with the camera and my whole system and the machine that's just huge, so I will show you in a minute as soon as I'm finished. So I'm just cutting this pocket a little bit smaller because it was overlapping the sewing that we've just done. So I've just made it a little bit smaller, and now I'm just sewing it as supposed to be. So here is our ephemera holding pockets made with tracing paper. So there's 4 of them, and I've sewn them all. And this is the front pocket and then the back pockets of our file folder that have all been sewn, as you can see. And next, so I've stuck both of the little pockets on the sides, and this is our notebook with the beads outside, as mentioned in the previous video. And then this is the ephemera holder. So let's just trim the sides, and next we're just gonna stick this page to the pocket. And I'm just gonna fast forward because this project did take me all day, and it did take me a long time, and I cannot imagine you guys watching this video for an entire day. It's just not possible. I couldn't bear it, so I don't think you guys can. So I'm just gonna fast forward. Let's just stick it first to the page. I'm just gonna make sure it's centered properly and the right way. Of course, make sure it's the right way up. Do not stick it the wrong way like I almost did. So I'm using tacky glue for this. Make sure you have a little thing on the side, like a little cloth, to remove the excess of glue, to make sure you don't get glue all over your project. It's really important, otherwise, I mean, seriously, you can mess up everything you've just spent hours making. Okay, so let's just make sure it's centered properly, and let's just glue it. Of course, there's all the threads, so make sure everything is stuck properly to the back. And with your bone folder, you can just stick the background, stick all the threads, stick just everything perfectly. Okay, so now let's just talk about this file folder, and we're gonna have to just attach it to the rest of the project. So I'm just gonna sew it like it was a signature. So simply, I'm just gonna write down 1.5 centimeters from the corners and then the middle of the file folder. I'm just gonna make the holes over here. Then I'm gonna write down where the middle of the cardboard is, and I'm gonna write down the 1.5 centimeters on both sides, and then the center, so that it's well, the same. And now I'm just gonna use a needle and thread, and I'm just gonna sew it. So I don't know if you've seen videos about this. It's very, very straightforward. You just go through the first hole, then on the side, and then you come back in the middle, and then you go on the last hole, and then you come back in the middle again, and you make a knot. I'm making a knot in the outside because I want to add a little tassel, and we will do this at the end of the video. It's probably one of my favorite features of this lap book, and I love tassels, so I can't wait to make it. Okay, so now, since this is an accordion folder thing, the inside is going to be visible, and I did not want everyone to see all my really bad sewing that is very visible, as you can see it, because I've used a light brown thread. So I'm just hiding it with book pages. No need to make a collage, no need to be difficult about it, because it's not gonna be very visible because it's inside the pocket. But do make sure everything is stuck properly, especially to the sewing, because the sewing could come undone, and this is a really good way to make sure it doesn't. And for the next part, this part is going to be a little bit visible, so I'm just going to make sure everything is stuck properly. And after this, we're just going to ink it as usual. And we're going to cut the excess on the sides as well. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. It looks pretty good. I think attaching it this way was a pretty good idea. It was a bit of a, I did have to have a thing, because how do you attach an accordion file folder? It was a bit of a, I did have a little bit of a think about this. So I'm really happy about the results, and I hope you guys are too. Just let me know what you think. And yeah, let me know, and let me know if you use it as well. Okay, so this is done. Now we're just gonna ink the sides, and then we're just gonna stick the accordion brown paper things we did before in the previous video. So I'm just gonna stick the first flap and the last flap together. It's really hard to explain in English when you're a French person. I hope you don't mind my English. So I'm using this technique. I'm just putting a paper in the middle, and of course I did it wrong. It was supposed to be the other side, and the paper is meant to just get the excess glue so that the other flaps don't get it. I do recommend this method, but do make sure that everything is not glued together, because in my case it was a little bit glued together in the end. Okay, so now we're just gonna close it, and I'm just gonna make sure everything is glued perfectly, and then I'm just gonna put these pins to make sure everything just stays put and glues. And yeah, make sure that it's not all stuck together before you leave it to dry for too long. All right, so this is it. Now we're just gonna make the closure for this envelope. So I'm just having a little bit of a think about how I want the front to look like. So I'm just gonna write down where I want the first hole to be, the first round, and then I'm just gonna write it down so it's exactly the same on the other side. So it's 1.5 centimeters, and I'm gonna make the holes in the center of the little rounds. little buttons, and then I'm just gonna make the holes in the cover of our lap book as well. Next, let's just find some eyelets that we like. I don't have that many eyelets. I do need to think about getting a few more, especially the tiny ones. I love the tiny ones. So I do like these light blue eyelets. I think they're pretty cool. And so the difference is that I have some metallic light blue and some matte light blue. So I'm gonna use the metallic light blue. I think they look nicer. Okay, so that's done. And that's the second closure finished as well. So now we're just gonna make some pockets to go inside, and I'm gonna put a little button that I've just cut out with my punch hole thing, and I'm just gonna stick it there. And here we're just gonna make another one. I'm gonna put the button as well on this one, and oh, I forgot to ink it. Okay, and these are the 3 pockets I want to put also on the side of the file folder, and I do want to put some tabs on them. So I'm just gonna ink as usual to remove the whiteness of the paper. And I'm not a fan of the back of the paper, so I'm just gonna stick these to a book page. I do like how it's written. I think it's quite a nice vintage paper. So I think it's quite a nice addition as well, because it's all pretty pink and dark. So a little bit of vintagey normal paper does look quite nice and gives it a little bit of a rest for the eyes, let's say. So we're just gonna leave it a little bit to dry, and then we're just gonna cut it out. So now that I've done this, I did have to do a little bit of research for lap books, and now that I've seen some of them that are online, I just want to make one for myself for sure, and I really can't wait to start. Okay, so the way I make my tabs, I do not have a tab punch thing, so I just cut them out. I've printed out some tabs templates from online, and I'm just gonna cut out and make sure they're the same size on both sides, and I'm just gonna make this 3 times. If you want an added bonus, you can just punch the corners so they're round. It gives them a little bit of a twist and it looks quite nice. And don't forget to ink everything as usual, and just stick them on all sides to your little card. And now we're just gonna do all the corners and do the next 2 tabs. So it's exactly the same way. I'm just gonna choose some nice papers to go with these. So yeah, I was thinking of using a lap book for myself to put my ephemera. I've seen a lot of folios, like ephemera holders, that are really nice, but they're quite simple. And I do like a bit of a monster project. And this huge lap book that I want to do to hold my ephemera. I don't have a lot of ephemera, but I'm planning on getting more, and I really can't wait to start. I'm already imagining. I haven't finished my ocean journals that I'm making right now, and I'm already thinking about my next project, which is really, really bad. Don't do it. I mean, you just end up stressing and thinking about, do you need to buy stuff to make it? Do you need to get other stuff? Do you it's just you can't live like this. Just focus on a project, finish it, do finish it. Sometimes I don't finish my project, it's not good. And yeah, it's so much better to finish your projects, because I just end up with a lot of boxes in my garage that says projects to finish, and my boyfriend doesn't like it. Well, it takes a lot of space. Okay, so that's the last of our cards that's finished, and that's gonna be a nice space for Scrap to Crystal to write down. So I'm pretty happy. And I thought, since she's already a junk journal artist, scrapbooking person, if she wants more spaces to write, I'm pretty sure she can just stick some other things on it. And yeah, so I'm not too fussed about this. So let's just ink the other cards that we've just made. And I do recommend that you ink the buttons before you stick them to the page. And yeah, I do like the corners when they're punched, because I think it looks more, professional. So this is the end. We're just gonna add the threads now. And I did close this one a little bit too short, so I'm just gonna do it again so it's long enough. And yeah, it's just not long enough, so I'm just gonna cut another thread. Yeah, so this is perfect. And now I'm just gonna do a loaded pocket. So I have this, I have these nice flowers that I like. They're like petals. And then I'm just gonna find a little bit of lace ribbon, yeah, to just attach to this tag that I'm gonna put as well. So I'm just making sure I'm putting some textile glue, making sure that this ribbon doesn't fray at the end. And then we're just gonna load this pocket up with a lot of goodies and nice stuff for Crystal. I love these little flowers. My brother actually bought these for me a while back, and I thought it was so cute. Such a nice attention. I'm not sure I've used them before. I really need to. I think they're really, really cute, and the colors are just perfect. Okay, so now let's just put some threads for the closure. So I'm using white thread because I thought it looked quite nice, and here at the front with the blue eyelets, I'm gonna use a light blue thread. Sorry, yeah, light blue. And next, let's just work on the tassel at the on the side of this project. So I'm choosing here a couple of beads. Of course, I'm favoring a little bit of pink, a bit of dark, and some white pearls that I think would look really cool. If the thread frays and it's hard to just put the beads, you can always put a little bit of glue at the end. Okay, of course, I'm completely out of the frame here, so you can't actually see what I'm doing. But I am putting some glue because it's getting really hard to put the beads on. As soon as the glue is dry, you can just put your beads, and I'm just gonna make some knots before and after the beads so that they don't move too much. And yeah, because I quite like it when there's some space between the beads. It's more aerial. Is that even a word? It's not like too cramped together. and I'm using pearls. So I've got some white pearls, pink pearls. I think they're glass pearls. And I'm also using some Swarovski, you know, the ones that we used to use for the, I don't know if you made these when you were a bit younger, the rings with the Swarovski beads. I found these lying around in my closet and I've decided to use them. Okay, so next we're just gonna use some ribbon to make a little tassel here on the side. I really need to get some kind of mirror to see what's being, like, am I in frame or not? I need to find a way. What do you guys use? Okay, so this is a ring. It's a silver ring, and I'm just gonna make sure all my ribbons and the lace I'm using don't fray. So I'm just gonna put glue on the cotton ones, and well, the other one is synthetic, so I'm using my lighter to just make sure it doesn't fray. And then I'm just gonna attach these to the spine with the little silver ring, and then I'm just gonna put a thread around it, so it creates this little bit of a bump, if you will, between the spine attached by the ring and then the rest of the tassel, like you see here. And then I'm just gonna cut everything the same size, and of course I do have to do the work twice because I didn't do this before. And I'm just making sure everything is attached properly and it doesn't come off. And I'm just gonna add the beads that I haven't finished adding because I wanted to see how it would look with the lace. Sorry, I've got a bit of a runny nose. It was really, really cold today. Okay, so this is the end of the video, the end of the project. It's actually done now. So this is how you open it. And here we have our first pocket with a card. And then we have the folder, the file folder here, and 3 different cards on this side. And everything was just sewn to make sure you had enough space and everything was like would be held properly. And then you have another little card here on the side. And here you have another closure with these little buttons, and inside and yet another one. I just love these pockets so much. And inside you have a nice little tab, and then this notebook, and I think I forgot to put some beads here. So let's just do this quickly. And then at the back you have a nice little loaded pocket with a transparent tracing paper. So I hope you guys liked this tutorial. It was quite rushed for me. I mean, I did have to finish this in one day, like the conceptualization as well. It did take me a lot of time. I spent all day pretty much. I do think Crystal likes it. So I'm really happy. Just let me know if you guys like it too, what you think. Do you think I should make more? Just, yeah, let me know. I would love to see as well your creations if you've used this tutorial for anything. And just put the link up, put a comment. I can't wait to see them. And this is the end of the video. And I'm really glad you guys have been here until the end. And I will see you guys really soon. Bye!